Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, thanks for tuning in. If you've been here before, just going to give an update. I did a video not too long ago about the cost of living in Belize. And well, before we get in the video, let's go ahead and take a look at this clip that I got for you. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this clip and then we'll get into the video. Alright, SIB August report, Belmopan and Corozal among most expensive municipalities. Data from the SIB noted that in August 2024, Belmopan recorded the highest inflation rate in Belize at 6.1%, reflecting significant increases in consumer prices across a range of goods and services. Residents faced higher costs for food, non-alcoholic beverages, personal care items, household cleaning products, domestic services, and rental expenses, among others. Following closely with a 5.2% inflation rate is Corozal Town. Meanwhile, Punta Gorda Town experienced the lowest inflation rate at just 1.36%, with residents benefiting from lower than average price increases. Key areas of stability included household cleaning products, clothing, personal care items, and various services such as domestic and transport services. The stark contrast between the two municipalities highlights the varying economic pressure faced by consumers across Belize. So, first off, I got a thunderstorm going on behind me, so if you hear lightning and thunder, and you might be able to see it in the distance. So if it messes with the audio, I apologize about that. So, talking about what was in the clip that I just showed you right there, living on the outskirts of Belmopan, I can tell you that we have really felt the impacts of this inflation lately. And to know that, you know, it's at 6.1% and not too less than that up in Corozal is, it's a big deal. I was at the market the other day, you know, just looking for vegetables and stuff. And it's kind of disheartening because a lot of the vegetables that's at the farmers market are actually grown here in Belize. They're not imported. They don't come from somewhere else. So they're actually imported. And, you know, when you walk around there and you look at the prices on some of these vegetables, sometimes it just makes me wonder. But I know limes were going for, just here recently, and somebody had left a comment, limes were going for about 75 cents to $1 a piece, which is absolutely absurd to pay for a lime. It's when I first got here, you could get like 3 limes for $1. Now they want about $1 per lime. Cantaloupe is through the roof. For a small size cantaloupe, you're spending $8. Tomatoes is still through the roof. I mean, the inflation in these two areas that they're talking about just keeps going up. And, you know, from somebody who actually gets out a lot and looks around a lot, the amount of food that is produced on the outskirts, especially Belmopan, that comes into the market on a daily basis to have those kind of prices. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I've started actually going to the farms and just buying straight from them, where the prices are much, much lower. So I think fuel has a lot to do with it. I think gas has a lot to do with it. So I did a little bit of research, and the average American uses about 900 kilowatts of power a month. And that translates to about $147 and some change is the average electric bill that's in the United States. And it's about it's about 16 cents per kilowatt, somewhere in that area. So here in Belize, it's about 23 cents per kilowatt, and I'm using US dollars, so it's about 23 cents per kilowatt. So that many kilowatts here to use on an average basis, almost 900, would be $50 more with just that extra added cents on top. So I want you to keep that in mind, because, you know, one thing that I learned now that we're over here, there's a lot of things that you can have done for a lot less than you can in the States. But, you know, they say everything comes out in the wash in the end. And what I've learned being here for almost 3 years is that you can get things done over here for a decent price, a lot less than you can in the States. But the other stuff over here is so expensive that it actually adds up to where you're paying, if not the exact amount of money, more money than you would in the US, probably Canada. So there's a big misconception, you know, when it comes to the cost of goods and services and things here, and with the rate that inflation is going up, that you're going to come to Belize and you're going to save a lot of money. I have to tell you that that's not the case. In order to save a lot of money, you're going to have to put a lot of time, a lot of searching, and a lot of effort into saving money, especially with fuel. And I think that that's one of the things that is actually going on here. So when I looked this morning, fuel is just at over $6 a gallon here. So, you know, somebody that has to go get fruits and vegetables or other things and then bring them to the market to try and sell them, depending on how far they have to go, of course, they're going to pass that fee on to the consumer. And I got to tell you, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have fuel prices that here. But that's one of the things that I'm talking about. You can have certain things done here for really, really inexpensive prices, but then you have to fill up your gas tank. And I'm telling you right now that a gas tank on a 2005 vehicle, to get it 3/4 of the way full, is going to cost you 50 American dollars. You get right at 7.9. If you're lucky, you'll get 8 gallons for 50 US dollars. And if you're driving a 6-cylinder, that gas, anybody knows back in the States, if you do a lot of driving, it doesn't last long. Nothing here in Belize is a one-stop shop. And what I mean by that is 9 times out of 10, the store that you go to is not going to have everything you need. So you're going to have to go to another one. And then that one's probably not going to have it. And you're going to have to go to another one. So we've learned here that the whole system here is, it's just its own system. To be honest with you, Belize to me makes absolutely no sense. Like, there is no system to anything here. If you're shopping and you find something, you're lucky that you found it. If you're shopping and you see something and you don't need it, you might want to buy it if you think you might need it in the future, because chances are if you try and go back and get it, you're not going to find it again. So yeah, there's this big misconception that you're going to save a lot of money when you come to Belize. And I have to tell you, that's absolutely not the case. Inflation is so high here that it just, to be honest with you, not only are fixed income expats feeling the brunt of all this, locals are feeling the most of the brunt of this. It's, you know, you got to put yourself in the local shoes. If you're making minimum wage, if you're making $5 an hour, Belizean, and a gallon of gas is 11 or 12 Belizean a gallon, you can't even get a gallon of gas with 1 hour for work. It's kind of disheartening, to be honest with you. I would love to see things start to change here. Something actually has to change in Belize, because it's getting to the point where things are just becoming unaffordable. And, you know, even tourists that are coming here, tourists are starting to complain. I've actually seen a lot of people that have been watching this channel for a while that have left comments out. One of the things that they were taken aback by is when they got here, the cost of everything. And word of mouth is everything. People start to pass these things along. You know, hey, if you're going on vacation here, you might get your room at this much money, which sounds great. But on the flip side, you're going to spend this much money to even have to spend a week there. And it's happened to people out there. So just be mindful if you're thinking about coming here to live permanently, if you're thinking about coming to visit here, or if you're just passing through here. Electricity is expensive. Fuel is expensive. Goods and services are extremely, extremely expensive. And now food is just becoming incredibly expensive, especially, like I said, for stuff that is grown right here. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. And I'm telling you, anybody that is from this area knows what I'm talking about. There's areas that you can go to where there's fields as far as the eye can see of food being grown that's going to the markets. But the markets are selling it at such outrageous prices. I talked to a pharmacist the other day who, sweet lady, was actually sad. She said that she was starting to lose her customer base because her customer base thought that she was trying to rip them off because the price on her products lately has gone up. And I can tell you that she wasn't trying to rip off her customers. The price of things are going up, and people are trying to search where they can get it for a little less expensive, which anybody knows how that is. Supply and demand, you know, that's just going to make prices go up even more. So once again, just wanted to do an update on the costs right now and the inflation in Belize. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay safe out there. Watch your money, because I know that inflation is everywhere. Inflation is high everywhere. But here in Central America, in Belize, inflation should not be that high, especially when there's all this talk about how good the GDP and the economy is. If it was actually that good, then inflation wouldn't be that high. And once again, that's just my opinion. But, you know, I live here, I pay taxes here, I have to shop here. So it affects me just like it does anybody else in Belize. So just keep that in mind if you're coming here. Things are expensive. Looks like they're only costing more as time goes on. I don't see things getting any cheaper. So keep that in mind if you're coming to visit or if you're thinking about coming to live here. Thanks for watching. Have a great one, everyone.